All right, good question here about how to factor this problem when there's four terms and there's some minuses later on that might affect it. In fact, they do affect it at the very beginning. So here's something you need to know. When the third term of a problem that you're factoring when there are four terms, if the third term is negative, then you're going to have to do this step first. So this is good to know right off the bat. So because that's what we have here. So let me change the color. Okay. So you're going to bring down the first two just like they are. I could write them 35 n cubed plus 20 n squared. Okay. Put parentheses around those. And if the third term is negative, like we were just saying, you're going to put a plus sign. And then your phone's going to ring. And then you're going to put negative 28 n minus 16 in the parentheses. So notice what happened. I brought down, I inserted a plus sign. I'm saying I'm adding these groups. And then I just simply brought this down and put it in parentheses. So nothing changed about it. Okay. All right. So from there, okay, so from there, we're going to just start at the beginning and sort of do this as like one problem, and then we'll do the second one as a second problem. So we've got 35 n cubed plus 20 n squared. So we're going to factor this down into its prime factors. So that would be 5 times 7. And then we have 3 n's multiplied together. That's n times n times n. Doesn't look like it. And then 20 is 4 times 5, which is 2 times 2 times 5, and then 2 n's. Okay, so when we look at this, we have a 5 in common. We have 2 n's in common. And there's no 7 in both. There's no 2's in both. And there's an extra n. So I'm underlining all the leftovers. So what was in common was a 5 and 2 n's. So that's 5 n squared. And then in the first part, we've got 7n. And then we bring down our plus. Second part, we have 2 times 2, so 4. Okay, so that is it for this section. All right, remember we're treating it kind of like two problems at this point. So now let's do the second one. We've got negative 28 n, so that's negative 7 times 4, which is 2 times 2, and that has an n. And then we've got a negative 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and there's no letters on that one. Okay, so what's in common? They both have a negative, and they both have, I see 2 2's, right? But there's not a 7 or an n, no more 2's. So what do they have in common? What's circled? Negative 2 times 2 is 4. And then that's it, right? That's all that's in common. So what's left is 7n. And then over here, a 4. Now, remember that these are separate terms, so we need to separate them with a plus sign because the negative was in common, so the negative came out. All right. So, and you can always double check. This is something that we didn't emphasize earlier, but you can always like think, okay, well, negative 4 times 4, that's negative 16. Right? So this should equal what you have at the top. Negative 4 times 7n is negative 28n. So that's working out. Even over here, 5 times 4 n squared, or 5 n squared times 4 is 20 n squared, and 5 times 7 is 35, and there are 3 n's, so n to the third. Okay, so far we are on track with all that. Let me erase that extra. Okay, now we're ready to look and see if we have the same thing in both parentheses. So I've got a 7n plus 4 and a 7n plus 4. Yay, that is a really good thing because that means we're ready to write the final answer. So the final answer is going to have 2 parentheses. And in the first one, you put the greatest common factors. So 5n squared minus 4. And the second parentheses is just the one that they already have in common, 7n plus 4. All right, that's it. That is factoring by grouping. A little bit different process here, but it works. All right, I hope that was helpful. See you next time.